This was great when we made it all those years ago.
Great.
But we really wanted to update things.
I should probably just call this a Marvel Legends episode because I got a good long ramble building up within me. But there's other stuff that caught my eye too. And we're going to talk about that because I'm Robo. This here's the Rewind. Kaiyodo announced that they would be doing some amazing Yamaguchi Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater figures without actually showing any kind of prototypes. They just have these pretty renders from the game, I think it is, which is perfectly fine. It's okay, but it's not going to stick in my brain until we see some pretty plastic. On top of that, I never played Snake Eater, so I'm not familiar with the boss or this version of Revolver Ocelot, but I know who this is. But I don't know whether to call him Naked Snake or Big Boss. It's just... I don't think this is the first time we've seen Revoltech Metal Gear Solid. After some searching, I found Revol Minis, smaller scale. And then about 10 years back, they did do Yamaguchi Metal Gear Solid. But this is amazing Yamaguchi. So there'll probably be some flourishes to it, some slight design tweaks, but still should be pretty sweet. I don't pay close attention to Mezco rumors. Well, I don't pay attention to rumors and leaks and all that at all, do I? Because again, I don't retain anything until I see some prototypes. That means I was caught off guard when Mezco announced that they would be releasing or re-releasing their 1/12 collective, the Shadow, Street, and Smith capsule set. A lot of this is reuse, but there are some changes. There are some additions, there are some subtractions, but it's still an overall cool. I'll just get right to it. This portrait is absolutely spectacular. It's just Shadow in a different look, kind of stealthier with the black scarf. So that fits right in. Now the black scarf does look weird to me. I'm not an expert on the Shadow at all, but to me, he's always wearing a red scarf. But fear not, this set also comes with that. That's along with the cape from the original, the same weapons, same blast effects, along with ones that weren't included, same crystal ball, new gear. If they had stopped right there and priced accordingly, I don't think there would have been as much backlash, but they added more stuff to jack that price up to $175. The enamel pin, the poster, the coins, and okay, the prop replica ring is sweet. I like stuff like that. But ooh, I also like action figures. And a balanced budget. Not that it matters. This sold out lickety-split. When I saw the announcement, I thought, ooh, the Shadow gone. Well, okay. To make it worse, directly after that, it seems like YouTube started showing me clips from the Shadow movie, and I'd forgotten how cool that was for its time. And it made the hurt a little worse. I could jump on the wait list, but I feel like this is fate telling me, enjoy what you already have. Take that money and spend it on what you're gonna enjoy more. The Shadow would go on the shelf, but he'd just sit there. That's what fate sounds like to me anyway. Hey, dummy. You gotta pay the mortgage this month. Quit spending money on toys. And then fate hides it away from me, takes it away. Just like, hey, if you can't control yourself, I'm gonna help you. Listen to me. I will. I think I said something last week about McFarlane toys being a bit sporadic when it comes to their DC lines lately. So of course, they have a live stream this week and just... First though, there's a couple of new pre-orders for figures from the Superman movie, starting with Lex Luthor, who I did not know was going to be a deluxe theatrical edition. Maybe they had said it, maybe I skipped it. I'd only seen pictures of dude in suit and thought, I don't need that. But now seeing it, he's got extra hands, he's got extra face plates, and he's got the baby kaiju. Come on, man! I'm a complete sucker for the age-old marketing ploy of let's include cute little monster thing. No, I can't do it. Get away. I wasn't interested in doing the Superman movie line anyway. I want to see the movie, but at the moment, the toys are low priority. So, yeah. I also don't need Ultraman. who for some reason is also a deluxe theatrical edition. He comes with some extra hands, including a pair of grips to hold the whole lot of nothing that's included with the figure. Looking at it, I guess it is a bigger toy, but I still don't see deluxe theatrical edition. It also took me a minute to realize DC Ultraman, doesn't he? No, wait, isn't he just a alternate universe Superman? Is the big reveal for the movie gonna be this mask coming off and it's David Cornsweet with his hair gelled back, maybe a goatee? I'm evil! Lex's clone of Superman or something? Like I said, I want to see the movie, but I haven't been following it all. I don't know if that's a spoiler or if that's way off base. That's just my brain version of the movie now. We did know a lot of stuff that they showed during the live stream, but for comic books, there's Kite Man. And hey, show me Kite Man all day. Give me all the information. Give me Kite Man. This will be a collector edition gold label Target exclusive, going up for order or pre-order during their Summer Geek Out June 13th. I'm all over this, if I'm able to, if I'm allowed to, because it seems like store exclusives are getting back into that total pain in the ass territory. It ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster. Oh, damn. Oh, it's so easy to get. I order from Target and Walmart and they just ship my stuff. And then Walmart just canceled my pre-order, and Target, they're not showing anything in stores. I have been fairly lucky with the recent Target exclusives when it comes to DC Multiverse, but it's a lot of stuff that wasn't high on my list. Kite Man is high on my list, so I'm expecting hijinks of some kind. For regular collector editions, they showed Malcolm Merlin and Dark Stars, and I don't know near as much about these two characters. Okay, I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Kite Man. I just like the design. It's that wacky DC that I love. These, they look okay. Merlin looks like a cartoon come to life with the hair and stuff, and then Dark Stars, absolutely nothing. I know Merlin is a Green Arrow villain. Makes sense, you know? Dark Archer, I think they call him. But Dark Stars, maybe they float around in space. They're bright lights in the blackness of the galaxy. Dark Stars, Dark Archer, is this a dark wave? I'm more interested in the DC Rebirth Batmobile. It's just adding to the garage, and I don't think anybody can gripe about that. Well, I mean, they can. And they will. I mean, but it's usually, they didn't make exactly what I wanted. How dare they make stuff for other people? It wasn't meant for you. I think my fate voice is slowly merging into Christian Bale Batman. I'm pretty happy with the 89 Batmobile being my only McFarlane Toys vehicle at the moment, but this one's tempting. Not because I was a big fan of the animated series, which I feel like this pulls design elements from. It's got those angles, that bat on the front and such, but I just like it because it's a cool retro feeling type Batmobile. It's not super sleek, but it's super slick. And sometimes that's all you need. They did mention they were going to re-release the Rebirth Batman with a soft goods cape for this. I don't even remember the original release. They just wanted to point out that it's coming again. Soft goods cape won't be in the package with the Rebirth Batmobile, but it will be available at the same time as the Batmobile. Me, I'm just gonna stuff any Batmans I got into here and see what happens. Hopefully there's not a button to open the canopy that they hide and don't tell anybody about. Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot. The mention of retro, though, brings me around to the live stream reveals for Wave 2 of McFarlane Toys Super Friends. They showed Wave 1 back at Toy Fair, and they have since been released. They're at retail, they're online, and when I first saw them, I thought, oh, that is just rubbing the hell out of my nostalgia bone. But do I need them? I don't mind the articulation scheme. I know what they're going for here. They're 6-inch scaled, but they are lacking in range of movement. But I feel like that's kind of okay, given the source material. It's kind of that throwback, a callback. But man, I would love ankles. It's a little late for that, though. Like I was talking about budget and such, when I found Batman and Green Lantern and Sinestro and Lex Luthor at retail, or saw them go up for pre-order or order, I thought, you know what? Damn you, Todd, for making Riddler a red platinum. If I can't have red platinum Riddler, a member of the Legion of Doom, then I can't complete the set. So I'm not even gonna start. So of course I found Riddler at Books A Million, at one Walmart, then the next Walmart, then the next Walmart, and that's just fate. Hey, I want you to have these. Go ahead and buy them. So yeah, I've ended up with all of Wave 1, which makes me more confident because they're now showing Wave 2. That means the line's continuing, that we may get full teams, or we may not. We'll see. But we're starting off with Cheetah. And look at this. It's a female in a McFarlane Toys line that looks great. And it just exudes that old style cartoon feel. And that's what I'm looking for sometimes. Toyman looking very toyetic, holding a toy. How many times am I gonna say toy in this sentence? Toy to toy, toy man. Captain Cold. Now I'll admit, I thought about getting the Multiverse, Platinum Editions, Chases, whatever, that kind of look like this. But then I thought, well, he's never gonna do the whole crew at all of them. So this makes me happy. Flash, there's some weirdness going on here. Now, I like the logo with the yellow in it. It gives me old school tube TV feel, where the colors were slightly off sometimes when you were watching it. But then the belt looks odd. Why does it look like it cuts twice? It's Super Friends, you gotta have a Superman though. Started with Batman in Wave 1, Superman in Wave 2. Toy Shiz is saying that there is another Red Platinum release in this wave. And the way I understood it, it's one that they did not announce. But Wave 1 was 4 figures and then Red Platinum Riddler. They just showed 5 figures for Wave 2. Is one of these the Red Platinum? I don't know. He also said there's going to be an evil Superman like Wave 1's evil Batman. And I haven't seen hide nor hair of that, which is painful. But if I get Justice League and the Legion of Doom, or well, the Super Friends and the Legion of Doom, then I'll be content for the most part. Like 94.68% content. Then again, there's a long way to go for both teams, and the clock's ticking. So we'll have to see. Because I think, man, Gorilla Grodd, Solomon Grundy, that's going to be oddball choices for this line. Are they going to be deluxes? Please. Moving over to Hasbro, there's been recent comments about how it's been damn quiet on the G.I. Joe Classified Series front. So of course, that we get a fan stream announcement for next week. They send out address confirmations for the HasLab Rattler that's about to ship, which is cool. All right, but I want to see some new stuff. Oh, okay. You're not even going to wait for Yojo June to show off the digital reveal of Budo. No, I don't know Budo. He is beyond the sphere of knowledge when it comes to G.I. Joe in Roboland. But look at this thing. Holy shit, that is a lot of options. Alternate heads, 2 helmets, a couple of neck adornments, swappable armor parts for the torso, the forearms, the waist, and the shins, and then a third chest option that just covers up the whole thing. There's having a nostalgic attachment to a character and wanting it really, really bad, but then there's also seeing a badass action figure and wanting it just as much. And this definitely falls into category 2. Finally, like I said at the top, there was a Marvel Legends fan stream this week and they brought it. I mean, you want a little MCU? You want a little video game stuff? Well, okay. It was lacking in the comic book department, but I feel like a lot of the Gamerverse figures could be slipped into that display. In fact, I'm looking at some upgrades for my comic figures in a couple of places. They kicked off with Fantastic Four First Steps, which we knew was coming. They had teased the teaser from last month, but I didn't realize until this point how action figure friendly the movie designs are. I mean, take Invisible Woman. You look at the torso, and when I first saw it, I thought, why did they texture the top but not the bottom? They have an articulation point right there, and they didn't continue on. Trash, terrible. And then I went back and looked at the actual movie still, or the trailer still, and they actually have a cut in the costume right there. Not a cut, but a design change, a line, a seam. Same for the gloves, same for the boots, which is usual. And once we start looking at the other figures, there's design elements that work into articulation points. It's not super obvious, but it works better than I thought it would. Of course, it's movie designs, so Hasbro kind of eases back on the articulation department. Butterfly joints are going to break the sculpt all to hell, extra articulation. So It seems like they have a basic formula when it comes to cinematic action figures, and they've stuck to it with the Fantastic Four. I thought the shield was going to be reused. It's very similar to the comic book version we've gotten, but then I noticed the bullet bing, 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 bing. Next was Johnny, and it's more of the same. I know I didn't say it for Invisible Woman, but I love the light blues and whites. I also like how the costumes are different character to character. They could have been all wearing the same thing, but they changed it up and it makes it visually interesting. It still looks like a uniform for a team because of those blues and whites, and I guess because of the patterns and textures, they just change things up from person to person. The likeness is okay. It's not great. In fact, the whole wave, all three unmasked figures, you can tell who they are, and not just because they're wearing Fantastic Four uniforms, but I don't feel like these are as close as past photoreal and sculpts. But again, we know who they are, so our brains kind of fill in the gaps. Thankfully, there's also a fully flamed on Human Torch in the wave, and that it doesn't matter about likeness, costume, none of that. It's just the translucent plastics, the reds, the oranges. That's what I'm looking for. I think this is the best torch head we've gotten in toy form because of how the flame lays and licks off the top of the skull. My first thought was, oh, I'm gonna have to see if that transfers over to the comic book figure. Do I want to buy 2 MCU Fantastic Four figures? For customs? Yeah, I'm dumb like that. It kind of throws me that the costume is still visible in full flame on mode simply because I'm used to, and you know, the comic look, just bare skin. But then it makes sense. It's not like his costume's gonna disappear just because he's on fire. I got really hillbilly there at the end. Even I heard it like, fire. But I do love that they snuck the classic comic black line work into aspects of the costume. Well, the costume design works into that. With the ribs, add some shading, it falls into that line work, that effect. It recreates it nicely. And that's something I didn't notice until I saw the figure. I'll admit I'm still coming around to Shalabal Silver Surfer. And it's not because, oh, it's a female. It's just, I didn't know this was a thing. But I guess I don't mind. It's an alternate universe, and honestly, it's hard to beat Norrin Rad from Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. Somewhere in the depths of my brain, I'm thinking that they thought there's no way we can compete with that. There's no way we can beat that. Let's change things up a little bit. The big board looks good with the effect stand piece to hold it up in the air. And then Surfer comes with a hand to actually hold it, like a surfboard, going down to the beach, or for shots like this, which is absolutely amazing. I do kind of wish it was a shinier silver, though. The swirly twirly doesn't work when your brain is screaming for it to be chrome, you know? I want to see reflective. I'm really liking the thing, though. Yeah, he is shirtless, whereas we haven't seen him like that in any of the promotional materials. But I like it better because it's the thing. It's the thing. The thing. I want to see all the rocks. Okay, maybe not all the rocks. He can cover his protrusions and pebbles, but the more rock, the better. Although I never minded pants on Ben. But when I think pants, I think boots. So that looks odd to me too. But I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. Maybe at some point it gets ripped up. Maybe they're thinking they can reuse some of this for a classic thing. I know we've gotten a few Thing figures, but he's kind of muscular. I want less defined Thing. Slap a comic book head on it. And then after the budget for the Thing is met, they can come back around and do a deluxe, fully costumed MCU Thing in all the blues and whites. Maybe. Let's worry about this wave first. Although I'm already thinking of future possibilities when it comes to Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna gripe. Yeah, just being stretchy arms, I get it. Regular package, regular price. They couldn't go all out, I guess. But man, I saw somebody comment of adding other stretchy parts to other figures in the wave. Not so much a build-a-figure, but an incentive to upgrade your Reed Richards. As is, I feel like they're gonna come back and then do a stretchy torso, stretchy legs, stretchy neck, stretchy crotch, deluxe type version. And that's the one I'm waiting for. I want craziness. Then eventually we'll get into color variants because, you know, it seems like this movie's all bright and cheery and you have your light blues and whites, and then they cross over to the 616 and things get a bit more gloomy and doomy and, oh, their outlook on life. So the blues darken, still white. And then by the time the next movie rolls around, maybe they're in the blacks and blues to add that classic look to the MCU roster. Release more things in just different colors and paint variants, maybe tweaks to the costumes, maybe Spiky Thing, or replaced with She-Hulk in a movie. Fantastic Four. Merchandising, marketing. Now, I thought they were going to stop there or talk about Shanna the She-Devil, but no, they went head first into the deep end of the pool when it comes to Gamerverse Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't believe they said Capcom at any point. They just said that game or this game because they only have the rights to do the Marvel side, which is okay because they showed some kick-ass stuff. At least to supplement my comic book displays. You know me, I'm not big into fighting games, but I did spend some time with Marvel superheroes. I was delivering pizza at Pizza Hut in the mid-90s, and that game was in the front room. And instead of doing dishes, I'd sneak up there and play that for a bit. So I'm familiar with a few of these looks, but man, I don't think I need another Wolverine. No, well, I say that. There's a lot of comic Wolverines I'll probably still buy. Upgrades or new versions. But when it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom or video game Wolverine with the huge spikes in places, the huge mask wings and leg wings, that's just not my thing. You rhymed that! Yeah, I know. It was awesome, wasn't it? I do like that it's a new body, though. That could possibly be reused for other things because I feel like they're continuously trying to make him shorter and stouter. And that's what's happening here. Bigger muscles, which I guess is why they went with single elbows to fit in there. Because as I look at the picture, I'm not trying to justify, I'm not trying to defend, but my engineering brain is thinking, well, the shoulders here, the peg goes down. They've shortened the bicep. If it was a double elbow, the roundness would come up and interfere with the peg coming down. So as is, it's a single, so the peg goes up. Are they meeting in the middle? Or maybe something Mafexy, where it's a peg on the bicep, and the bicep's kind of a cover for that? Again, double elbow all day, but if they couldn't fit it in, or I'm trying to figure out why. The big slashes are cool, though. Oh, and that's a 2-pack with Silver Samurai. When I first saw him, I thought, oh, new updated version. But the more I look, the more I realize that it's very video game stylized. Like I said about Wolverine's costume enhancements, it's the same for Silver Samurai. I don't care for the shoulder pads sticking way out and the larger lower piece. I do like the new torso, though. I'd forgotten the original release had a kind of a armored torso. This looks like a chest with the red sculpted in. But then I get to the head and it's grimacing. It's, I'm fighting in a fighting game. And the original is much more somber, much more serious, much more calm, cool, collected. And I think I prefer that. So, just speaking for myself, I don't need this set. Which is a shame because this is going to be up for pre-order everywhere. And you can't say the same about all these 2-packs or releases. Which brings us to the Thanos and Psylocke set. Not buying Silver Samurai and Logan saves me money to get this, simply because of Betsy. I don't need a lighter and brighter Thanos with higher horns on his helmet. But man, look at that Psylocke. And it's not really because I wanted another Ninja Psylocke for my shelf. You know me. If you'd watch my short, you know that I need some Outback love. I need an armored or a pink puffy sleeved Psylocke for my shelf. I'm at the point where, yes, I have parts coming in to finally make her. But this is such an upgrade to previous Marvel Legends Psylocks that I can't pass it up. I've got a Jim Lee display. Why not enhance it? And I was just talking with some friends earlier in the week about how they don't need to sculpt Psylocke's costume elements on because it's just ribbon. It's in 1/1 scale, a person wearing this, there wouldn't be a lot of, kick out. And then shrink that down to 1/12 scale and there's even less. But no, They had to go that extra mile and sculpt that stuff in, making it impossible to reuse for anybody other than Psylocke. Well, okay, I remember back in the day with the Toy Biz 5-inch stuff, Psylocke and Elektra being interchangeable, so there is that thought, maybe. Maybe they'll take this and make a new X-Force Psylocke since they're making a mad dash to finish off that team. It may have some game elements, but this is completely usable in the comic book shelves. Oh, that's where I'm at. Oh, other than the fact that this is going to be Target exclusive. Hey, let's add an extra layer of frustration to this release. Where there's Target exclusivity, so must there be Walmart. And that's exactly what the War Machine and Omega Red 2-pack is. Now that I think about it, there wasn't any red in the Psylocke and Thanos pack, but they did make Rhodey blue for this, which I think is in the game. But thankfully, speaking for myself, I'm good with what I already have when it comes to these two guys. But I know Marvel vs. Capcom is near and dear to a lot of you, so here you go. I apologize. I'm sorry to break the news that it's Walmart exclusive, but at least it's going to be out there, which you could say to me about Thanos and Psylocke. So I'm not trying to be smart-assy about it. I'm just saying it's not for me, but it may be for some of y'all. And it's not like I hate War Machine in blue. My mental image is in silver. But then I look at the new torso piece and the shoulder pads to make it broader, more bulky, and some of the attachments. And okay, it is kind of sweet. But when it comes to Omega Red, I am perfectly happy with the 5-pack version. I don't need a third Omega Red, and I think this is the third War Machine I'm saving for other things. Of course, I don't know how many Captain Americas I have in the displays and in tubs, but here I am coveting the Cap and Venom 2-pack. I know that Venom is the big draw for the majority, but I have no attachment to him in a very light blue. That's just custom fodder to me. I'm in for Captain America. I like the more sleek look without the armor up front. I like scale mail, but this being clean on the chests, along with butterflies and an intact shield finally, yeah, I definitely want it for Captain America. But some of my customs that I'm working on right now, well, okay, one in particular needs this Venom body. So my feelings are, it needs to come out now. I need that Venom, but not for Venom. Now the shield not having any bullet holes or cracks or shards or pieces missing is high on the list. But I'm also finding myself really liking the shield effect. The big, it works so well. But then somewhere on the internet, I saw somebody mention Venom having a shield in the game that just, and that would have been a cool addition to the set. Shield versus Shield? Come on. That 2-pack writes itself. That would have been icing on this light blueberry cake. Just so good. You know what's top of my list though? Gargantos. Or Shumagorath if you're nasty and don't mind getting into legal trouble with the owners of Conan the Barbarian or however that works. I don't care. You could have put Green Tentacle Toilet Monster on the box and I still would have got it because to me, it's Shumagorath. I get toys, I open toys, I toss the cardboard around it, play with toys. This is Shumagorath to me. It may be Gargantos to some people, put it in an MCU shelf. And that's the beauty of this release. You can either use it here, or there, or everywhere. It's just a big one-eyed monster with bendy arms. You can throw that in your Mythic Legions. You can throw that in your Operation Monster Force. You can throw that into your Star Wars. Submerge it into water a little bit. That's one big-ass Dianoga. I mean, the eyelids move separately, and then the eyeball rotates around inside. So you can get way more attitude than you would think out of a figure of monstrous Mike Wazowski. This picture blows my mind. I mean, yeah, okay, tentacles, eyeball. Let's have some fun. And that's about as fun as it gets. The attitude, just, hey, go to your room. Don't give me that look. That's just damn impressive, and I love it. I think once I get this and mess around and go through the things, that's how I'm gonna attempt to display it on my shelf, hopefully. While they were pulling out the big guns, they debuted their big, nice new Juggernaut next. This thing looks like a blunt force trauma-inducing brick of a figure. Is this pushing Marvel Select Juggernaut size? It has that same feel, that same heft to it, but a lot more mobile. Look, there's butterflies and toe joints. And while I said a lot of these figures can sneak into a comic book display, that helmet is very specific to Marvel vs. Capcom with the inlaid jaw, the cover, the chin piece. But at the same time, I don't mind. This is gonna be my Juggernaut. It looks great with the slight texture to the metal parts and then the heavy texture to the cloth in the abdomen. But my mind does wander to price point. How much is this big ass Juggernaut gonna be? Same for Gargantos, who is even bigger. The box seems wider and such. And I think they said something like Mega Deluxe, which makes me think higher price point. That's also huge and a lot of bending material and mechanics. So I'm thinking Gargantos is gonna be up here. The 2-packs are gonna be here and Juggernaut's somewhere in between. I know that's vague as all hell, but hey, I'm just looking at plastic. That may not be all for Marvel vs. Capcom though, because when they swung Gargantos's box around, there was a cut, and then when it came back, Dwight's hand was awkwardly covering something up. I didn't catch it at first. I was rewatching, and I thought, man, he's holding that weird. Wait, is there a little graphic peeking through his fingers? It does seem like there's a lot of emptiness on this side of the package. So something could be shooting in, but it looks angled, almost like it's words, like more to come or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into that movement. But then, as always, the stream ended with a tease, and it was this. And in the short I made, I guess I wasn't obvious enough with the joke that it makes me think Green Arrow. So I appreciate the people who felt the need to tell me that Green Arrow is not a Marvel character and there's no way that they could make that in Marvel Legends. I appreciate that nugget of info. Hey, Robo don't know, but he knows some. I mean, that's just comic book 101. But I get it, I do. How somebody could watch it and go, this dipshit. I've seen people speculate a soul gem effect of some kind, maybe Mole Man's cane, but the one I'm prescribing to is Dark Avengers Hawkeye or Bullseye. Although, did he use green arrows? That's another team that Hasbro seems hot and heavy to get through, and it makes sense, but the green throws me. Oh, I got it. I figured it out. I solved the mystery. It's the Hydra 4. It's perfect. It's just existing bodies in shades of yellow and green with Hydra symbols plastered on it. There's your Green Arrow. It's evil Hawkeye. I doubt it. Although now that I've said it out loud, 4-pack. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I was nearly done editing the rewind. I mean, I was at the very end, and I checked comments on yesterday's short, and somebody said that the Green Arrow could be Crystar's Warbow. Not knowing anything about that, I went searching, and that is a strong possibility. I'm tacking that on to the end of this segment, but I didn't want to set up the whole thing. Well. And that's it for this week. I told you I was going to talk long and hard about Marvel Legends because, a lot of what they showed is right up my alley. Not all of it, but that's okay. As always, special thanks to the Nobots and the Nobodies, the Patreon and the channel members. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this all the time. And this is what I enjoy doing. So I appreciate y'all. The G.I. Joe fan stream next week is going to be on Wednesday, which is good because I will be at Memphis Blues, I believe it's called. I'll be helping a buddy out at his booth. So it's not me just wandering around. So I'll be working, but if you're around, say hi, and I'll be like, hey, what's going on? That does mean I'll be recording earlier in the week again. So if something happens next Friday, we'll swing back around. I wonder how many times I've said that. Am I pushing 425 episodes? 430? Somewhere in there? We'll swing back around. Or not. Maybe I'll find something else to talk about. It's no big deal. It's just chattering about action figures. Oh, Todd McFarlane went on socials to announce, well, they said it during the live stream too, that McFarlane Toys at Walmart will now be in the collector section in electronics, which is not anything new. I've noticed that they moved out of the toy aisle altogether, and they're taking up quite a bit of space over in electronics. They're getting bigger and bigger. Got the Marvel statues, got the DC Multiverse, a few other things, I think. And again, I keep griping about red platinum, chase, variants, but I'm actually seeing more platinums in Walmart's electronics section than the regular releases. I think, well, that's cool, but where's the regular? Either way, there's a little nugget of news for you at the end. So next week, G.I. Joe for sure. I think Fantastic Four went up while I was recording this. So links to all that is in the description. Get some toys, have some fun. I will see you next week, if not before, sometime. Bye.